Resilience Reimagined, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Welcome to the Black CEO podcast, where we dive deep into the stories that inspire, challenge, and transform. Today, we're in for an extraordinary treat. We've had the incredible privilege of sitting down with Shaunta Moore, a woman whose journey redefines resilience and whose spirit embodies the very essence of triumph over adversity. Shaunta isn't just another success story. She's a force of nature, a beacon of hope in a world that often feels shrouded in darkness. Her impact on making the world a better place isn't just noteworthy, it's nothing short of revolutionary. Through her work and her life, Shaunta has shown us that our obstacles aren't roadblocks, but rather stepping stones on our path to greatness. Now, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, another motivational speech about overcoming obstacles. But trust me, folks, this isn't your run-of-the-mill pep talk. This is real, raw, and as authentic as it gets. Shaunta's story isn't just inspiring. It's a wake-up call, a challenge to everything you thought you knew about resilience and perseverance. Imagine this. You're a teenager grappling with alcoholism. Life's already a roller coaster, right? But wait, there's more. Add a rare bone cancer diagnosis to the mix. Most of us would be ready to throw in the towel at this point. But for Shaunta, this was just the beginning. As if life hadn't thrown enough curveballs, homelessness came knocking. Now, let's pause for a moment. Teenage alcoholism, rare bone cancer, homelessness. Any one of these could break a person's spirit, couldn't it? It's enough to make anyone want to curl up in a ball and say, nope, I'm done. Life wins. But here's where Shaunta's story takes a turn that'll make your jaw drop. Instead of letting these trials define her, she used them as fuel. Each obstacle became a stepping stone, each setback a setup for a comeback. And let me tell you what a comeback it's been. As I sat across from Shaunta during our interview, I couldn't help but be struck by the fire in her eyes. It's a fire that adversity couldn't extinguish, a determination that hardship couldn't dampen. Her voice, filled with both compassion and unwavering resolve, carried a message that resonated deep within my soul. Trials will come, but giving up is never an option. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, easy for her to say, she doesn't know my struggles. But here's the kicker. Shaunta's message isn't about comparing hardships. It's about recognizing the power within each of us to overcome, to persevere, to rise. Throughout our conversation, Shaunta shared three key principles that have guided her through life's toughest storms. And let me tell you, these aren't just feel-good platitudes. These are battle-tested strategies that have the power to transform your life. Are you ready? Because we're about to dive deep into the heart of resilience. And I promise you, you'll never look at your challenges the same way again. First up, resilience is key. Now, I know what you're thinking. Resilience, really? That's your groundbreaking advice. But hang on, because Shaunta's take on resilience isn't what you might expect. It's not just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward. It's about taking each hit life throws at you and using it to propel yourself further than you've ever been before. Think about it. How many times have you faced a challenge and thought, this is it? I can't go on. We've all been there. That moment when the weight of our problems feels so heavy that we can barely breathe, let alone move forward. But Shaunta's story teaches us that those moments of despair are actually opportunities for growth. They're chances to flex our resilience muscles and prove to ourselves just how strong we really are. Let me share a story that illustrates this point perfectly. Meet Tanya Van Court, the founder of GoalSetter, a fintech company that's shaking up the industry. Now, Tanya's journey wasn't all smooth sailing. As a black female founder in the fintech world, she faced more rejection than most of us face in a lifetime when trying to raise funds for her seed round. Imagine this. You pour your heart and soul into a brilliant idea. You know it has the potential to change lives. But investor after investor looks at you, hears your pitch, and says, thanks, but no thanks. It's enough to make anyone want to pack up and go home, right? But Tanya, she took a page out of Shaunta's book. Instead of letting rejection defeat her, she chose to focus on networking with those who believed in her vision. She built a network of supporters who could provide access to resources and opportunities. And you know what? It worked. Tanya successfully raised funds and grew her business by leveraging her network. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying, well, good for Tanya, but I'm not trying to start a tech company. And that's okay. The lesson here isn't about starting a business. It's about the power of resilience in the face of rejection. It's about choosing to see each no as one step closer to a yes. This brings us to Shaunta's second key principle: network and seek support. Now, I know networking can sound like a dirty word to some people. Maybe you're an introvert who breaks out in a cold sweat at the thought of small talk. Or maybe you're thinking, I don't want to burden others with my problems. But here's the truth, and it might be hard to swallow. We're not meant to go through life's challenges alone. There's strength in community, and often the support we need is just a conversation away. Let me introduce you to Derek Canton, the founder of PairPay. Derek faced significant challenges in finding the right team and accessing resources to scale his business during the pandemic. Now, we all know how tough the pandemic has been on businesses, but for a startup, it could have been a death sentence. But Derek didn't isolate himself. He didn't try to be a lone wolf, battling against impossible odds. Instead, he participated in programs like Techstars and reached out to other minority founders for support and advice. By leveraging these resources and networks, Derek successfully scaled his business, even in the face of a global crisis. Think about that for a moment. While the world was shutting down, Derek's business was scaling up. That's the power of networking and seeking support. It's not about having all the answers yourself. It's about connecting with people who can help you find those answers. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for Derek, but I'm not an entrepreneur. And that's okay. The lesson here isn't about starting a business. It's about the power of community in overcoming obstacles. It's about recognizing that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. This leads us to Shaunta's third principle: focus on personal growth. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, great, another lecture about self improvement, hear me out. Shaunta's take on personal growth isn't about becoming a different person, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about investing in yourself, acquiring new skills, and being resourceful in the face of challenges. It's about recognizing that the more you grow, the more equipped you'll be to handle whatever life throws your way. Let's consider the journey of young Black entrepreneurs. They often face significant barriers in accessing capital and resources. But you know what? The most successful ones don't let these obstacles define them. Instead, they look beyond money for capital. They invest in themselves, building skills and knowledge that no one can take away from them. Think about it. When you're facing a challenge, what's your first instinct? Is it to look for an easy way out? Or is it to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking: personal growth. That sounds great, but I barely have time to breathe, let alone focus on self improvement. And I get it, life is busy. We're all juggling a million things. But here's the thing: personal growth isn't about adding more to your plate, it's about changing the way you approach what's already on your plate. It's about being curious, it's about asking questions, it's about looking at your challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Let me share a personal anecdote that illustrates this point. A few years ago, I found myself in a job that I absolutely hated. Every morning, I wake up with a sense of dread, counting down the hours until I could go home. I felt stuck, trapped, and completely powerless. But then I remembered Shaunta's words about personal growth. Instead of focusing on how much I hated my job, I started asking myself, what can I learn from this experience? What skills can I develop here that might be useful in the future? And you know what? It changed everything. I started volunteering for projects that were outside my comfort zone. I began networking with colleagues in different departments. I even signed up for some online courses to boost my skills. Did it make my job perfect? No, but it changed my perspective. Instead of feeling trapped, I felt empowered. I was no longer just passing time, I was investing in myself. And eventually, those skills and connections I developed led me to a new opportunity that I absolutely love. Now, I'm not saying that personal growth is a magic wand that will instantly solve all your problems. But what it does is give you the tools to face those problems head on. It equips you with the resilience to keep going when things get tough. And let's be real, things will get tough. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs when we least expect them. But when you're focused on personal growth, those curveballs become opportunities to learn and improve rather than reasons to give up. So let's take a moment to reflect. Think about the obstacles you're facing right now. Maybe it's a difficult job like I had. Maybe it's financial struggles. Maybe it's a relationship that's on the rocks. Whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself, how can I use this as an opportunity for growth? What can I learn from this experience that will make me stronger, wiser, more resilient? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually put it into practice? Well, I'm glad you asked because now we're going to talk about action steps. We're going to talk about how you can take these principles, resilience, networking, and personal growth, and apply them to your life starting today. First, let's talk about resilience. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build like a muscle. And like any muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. So here's your first challenge. The next time you face a setback, big or small, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath. And instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to become stronger? Might feel awkward at first. It might even feel a little silly, but trust me, the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. And before you know it, you'll be approaching challenges with a resilience that would make Shaunta proud. Next, let's talk about networking and seeking support. I know. For some of you, the word networking probably sends shivers down your spine. But here's the thing. Networking isn't about schmoozing at cocktail parties or collecting business cards. It's about building genuine connections with people who can support you, guide you, and sometimes just listen when you need to vent. So here's your second challenge. This week, I want you to reach out to someone you admire. It could be a colleague, a friend, or even someone you follow on social media. Send them a message. Tell them what you admire about them. Ask them if they'd be willing to chat with you for 15 minutes about their journey. You might be surprised at how many people are willing to help if you just ask. And who knows, that 15-minute chat could be the beginning of a mentorship that changes your life. Finally, let's talk about personal growth. This one's a bit more open ended because personal growth looks different for everyone. But here's a good place to start. Think about a skill you've always wanted to learn. Maybe it's public speaking, maybe it's coding, maybe it's cooking. Whatever it is, I want you to take one small step towards learning that skill this week. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's watching a YouTube tutorial, maybe it's signing up for an online course, maybe it's just buying a book on the subject. The point is to start. Because here's the truth. Every journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and you're capable of taking that step. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but you don't know my life. You don't know my struggles. And you're right, I don't. But here's what I do know. You are stronger than you realize. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. And you have the power to overcome whatever obstacles are in your path. How do I know this? Because Shaunta's story proves it. Tanya's story proves it. Derek's story proves it. And your story will prove it too. Remember, resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up every single time. It's about learning from each fall, dusting yourself off, and moving forward with newfound wisdom and strength. Networking isn't about collecting business cards or LinkedIn connections. It's about building genuine relationships with people who can support you, guide you, and sometimes just listen when you need to vent. It's about creating a community that lifts you up when you're down and celebrates with you when you succeed. And personal growth, it's not about becoming a different person. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about continually expanding your knowledge, your skills, and your perspective. Because the more you grow, the more equipped you'll be to handle whatever challenges life throws your way. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. You are capable of so much more than you realize. The obstacles in your path are not there to stop you. They're there to show you how badly you want to succeed. They're there to make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Shaunta's journey from teenage alcoholism, rare bone cancer, and homelessness to where she is today is a testament to the power of the human spirit. It's a reminder that no matter where you are right now, no matter what challenges you're facing, you have the power to overcome them. So I challenge you, wake up that sleeping giant inside of you. Recognize that you are capable of more than you settle for. Embrace your challenges as opportunities for growth. Build your network, seek support, and never stop investing in yourself. Remember, giving up is not an option. Your trials don't define you. How you respond to them does. You have the power to turn your obstacles into stepping stones on your journey to elevation. As you leave this podcast today, I want you to carry with you the strength of Shaunta's story, the resilience of Tanya's journey, and the determination of Derek's pursuit. Let their experiences fuel your own journey of growth and success. And always remember, you are stronger than you know, more capable than you realize, and destined for greatness beyond your wildest dreams. The journey may be tough, but you are tougher. The obstacles may be high, but your potential is higher. So go forth and conquer. Face your challenges head on. Embrace your journey of elevation because the world is waiting for your unique contribution, your unique story of triumph over adversity. And here's my final challenge to you. Take action today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Choose one small step you can take towards your goals. Maybe it's sending that networking email. Maybe it's signing up for that online course. Maybe it's just writing down your goals and creating a plan to achieve them. Whatever it is, do it. Because here's the truth. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the actions you take. So take that first step and then take another and another. Before you know it, you'll be looking back at your obstacles, marveling at how far you've come. Remember, your story isn't over. In fact, the most exciting chapters are yet to be written, and you, my friend, are the author. So pick up that pen, face those blank pages with courage, and start writing your masterpiece. The world is waiting for your story of triumph. It's waiting for your innovation, your creativity, your resilience. It's waiting for you to show up, to stand up, and to rise up. So rise, my friend. Rise above your circumstances. Rise above your fears. Rise above the limitations others have placed on you. And more importantly, the limitations you placed on yourself. Because when you rise, you inspire others to rise with you. When you overcome, you show others that overcoming is possible. When you succeed against all odds, you become living proof that success is not about where you start, but about how far you're willing to go. As we wrap up, I want you to take a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath. And I want you to picture yourself 1 year from now. You've applied these principles, resilience, networking, and personal growth. You've faced your challenges head on. You've taken consistent action towards your goals. What does that version of you look like? How does it feel to be in their shoes? Hold on to that feeling. Let it motivate you. Let it drive you forward because that future is not just a dream, it's a possibility and it's waiting for you to make it a reality. So go out there, be resilient, build your network, invest in your growth, and most importantly, never ever give up on your dreams because the best is yet to come. And you, my friend, are just getting started. Thank you for joining us on this journey of elevation. Now go out there and elevate not just yourself, but everyone around you. The world is waiting for your light to shine. So shine on and let your brilliance illuminate the path for others to follow. Remember, your obstacles are not your enemies, they're your teachers. Your challenges are not your downfall, they're your stepping stones. And your story, it's not just yours, it's a beacon of hope for someone else who's struggling in the dark. So write it well, live it fully, and never forget you are resilient, you are capable, you are unstoppable. Now go out there and show the world what you're made of. Your journey of elevation starts now. And trust me, it's going to be one hell of a ride. Thank you. And remember, the only way is up. So keep climbing, keep striving, and keep rising. Your best days are ahead of you. Now go make them happen.